Right, Shalom. First, I'd like to say all praises unto Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, and double honors unto the elders at Great Millstone, the prophets, the apostles, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word in all sincerity and truth. And shalom to you brothers and sisters out there that are trying to walk that narrow path in sincerity and faith. And just wanted to speak about something that was on my mind. I've been thinking about nature a lot lately, man. Just vibrating on looking at the way the natural world, man. Okay, and how everything's set up, man, for the spirit and the power of the Heavenly Father, the knowledge and the wisdom, how the Lord set up the ecologies, and the whole ecology of the earth, man, is set up in perfect balance, man. And the only thing that's out of balance on this earth, that's causing the imbalance, the source of the imbalance is man, the wickedness of man. Okay? The wickedness of men. The sin of men, man, is causing chaos on the earth, man. Alright? But the Lord is going to set that record straight, man. And because man was made to be on the earth was made for the man was meant to be on the earth. The man is part of the ecology of the earth. We were made to live in complete balance with our surroundings, man. Like our brothers, the Gadites did, man, at one point. Alright? But you got the so-called white man who is the perfect example of a devil. He was not made to be on the earth. That's why the so-called white man is going to be completely eradicated and exterminated off the face of the planet Earth, because he doesn't fit in with the proper balance and ecology of the planet Earth. Hence, as soon as he gets rulership, what does he do? He commences to destroy the balance which is already on the earth, fucking up the water cycle, the carbon cycle, every cycle you could possibly have, because the earth has its own mechanisms to balance itself, man. But the so-called white man destroys all the ecologies, man. He destroys the balances in animals and everything. Alright? But when that World War III happens, and the nuclear missiles and all the different missiles that are going to get launched, different type of weapons they got, get shot out on the earth, and the chariots come, because the missiles are going to destroy these cities, and the cities that the missiles don't destroy, the chariots of the Heavenly Father are going to destroy. Alright, the cars, all the cars are going to be destroyed, melted down by the chariots. Every single car, man. Every single remnant of this society ain't going to be no house. You're going to come to England and there's going to be a cottage somewhere. No, they're all going to be destroyed. Anything we find from the prior world is going to be destroyed and left desolate, man. You ain't going to have no Eiffel Tower, ain't going to be no Caesar's Palace or any of that shit, man. The Taj Mahal, any of them even the pyramids, man. We're going to fucking destroy and flatten them motherfucking pyramids, man. All the pyramids, man. Every single structure that's on the planet Earth today is going to be fucking destroyed, man. And flattened, man. Because that's a remnant of the old world, and there's going to be a new beginning. And at that point, when the missiles drop, okay, that's going to begin the cleansing of the earth, the rejuvenation of the earth, because the earth can actually heal itself. The Lord, the same way your body can heal itself, the Lord built a mechanism where if you get cut, your body starts to I believe the word is coagulate the blood. It forms a blood clot, and then underneath that blood clot, the flesh closes up, and at first you get like brand new skin, but the skin isn't melanated, and then the melanin starts being produced in that skin, and voila, your body is healed. Okay, but guess what? If you have a cut and you keep picking at the scab, or you keep opening up the wound is never healed. Well, that's the so-called white man. So-called white man and these heathens and the way the vibration on this earth is becoming more and more sick, more and more destroyed, because it's not given an opportunity to heal. But the Lord is going to provide 1,000 years for the earth to rejuvenate and heal itself. Alright? Now I wanted to home in on the scripture that I was reading in the book of Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Right, this is Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Alright, and we're going to start from verse 22. So it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So there's what? So like over 6 billion people on the planet right now. The vast majority of those people are going to be destroyed in a small space of time. Ain't going to take 100 years. In a very small space of time, billions of people are going to be destroyed on this planet. And in that number is included 2/3 of the nation of Israel. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. So that ain't talking about one city. All the cities of the earth. So go Google and type in the word city and let it list all the cities, man. All them cities are going to be cast down. If it ain't by the missiles, then it's going to be by the chariots themselves, man. They're going to be blazing fire, man. Laser beams. Just like how they show you in World of Wars, where it came down and fucked up that bridge. When them things were going around just fucking up the bridge, fucking up the buildings. That's what the chariots are going to do. Everything is going to be leveled. Going to be turned to rubble. Okay. Right? And what does it mean by you people are going to be cast out as dung? Meaning your body's going to die. And guess what? Your body's going to break down. All the maggots and these things are going to start breaking down your flesh. So that your minerals can enter back into the earth where it belongs. Your spirit's going to be back up in the spirit world, man. Alright. There shall be no man left to till the earth and to sow it. So there's going to be such a small population of people that the majority of the earth, just not like now where you see a lot of husbandry happening all over the earth. That's not going to be happening no more. Whole fields are going to be left. Okay. The tree shall give fruit, and who shall gather them? So they're going to be a tree like in the middle of Britain somewhere, or in Britain you're going to have a tree, an apple tree, but where people will be coming and picking those apples, picking those pears, whatever. There ain't going to be no one left to do that. Because guess what? The ones of you that are still alive are going to be gathered up and carried to Israel to serve slavery and to build up the nation of Israel. Okay. The grapes shall ripen, and who shall gather them? The grapes shall ripen, and who shall tread them? For all places shall be desolate of men. So damn near the whole earth is going to be desolate of men. You got 1 billion Chinese. Most of them Chinese people over there, they're going to be destroyed, man. The ones of them that are left, we're going to gather them up. They're going into slavery. Alright? So that one man shall desire to see another and to hear his voice. For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. So that's mass. Basically, that represents mass depopulation. It's going right now. You got cities like Delhi which are overpopulated, man. You can't fucking take 2 steps without bumping into a man in Delhi. I believe Delhi is the most densely populated city on the planet Earth, if I'm not mistaken. It's one of them damn Indian. Well, guess what, man? There's going to come a point where you're going to be in Delhi looking to see somebody and you ain't going to see nobody, man. It's going to be rare to see other people or groups of other people. It's going to look like a ghost town. Alright? For of a city there shall be 10 left, and 2 of the field which shall hide themselves in the thick groves and in the clefts of the rocks. And people are going to be hiding in the clefts of the rocks and in the thick groves and the bushes, and we're going to search and find you out and put you into slavery. Alright? As in an orchard of olives, upon every tree there are left 3 or 4 olives, or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And who's going to be searching your houses, man, or searching for you? The Israelites, man. And we're going to search and destroy. We're going to search, we find you in a house, we're going to take you out of the house, and that house is getting condemned to destruction. We're going to have the chariot just blaze that, or we might just break it down with our bare hands, man. Alright? Because we ain't gonna be living in your houses, man. Alright? We're gonna break it. It says, okay. Hell, and if we don't even fucking break it down, we damage it up. Like I'm gonna show you, nature itself is gonna break it down and bring it back down to earth. There ain't gonna be nothing left, man. One way or another, there isn't gonna be nothing left of you, man. Or as when a vineyard is gathered, there are left some clusters of them that diligently seek through the vineyard. Even so, in those days there shall be 3 or 4 left by them that search their houses with the sword. And the earth shall be laid waste. What does it mean the earth is going to be laid waste? Meaning all the cities and all the settlements across the whole planet earth are going to be destroyed. Thus saith the Lord. Alright, you just going, everywhere you go in the earth, you're just going to see rubble. You're going to see rubble, man. Wherever there was people there, you're going to see rubble and smoke and fire. It's going to be laid waste. There's going to be no safe haven for nobody. Alright? And the fields thereof shall wax old, and her paths and her ways and her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel therefore. So guess what? You got roads and these roads that they've like the M25, the A13, all these roads and shit that they build all over the world. Okay, those roads are gonna be broken down. They're gonna be weathered and broken down. It's called weathering. Okay, they're gonna be weathered through biological weathering, chemical weathering. Okay, what do they call it? Freeze and thaw. It's a form of weathering with a physical weathering as well. Because that's why they constantly have to replace road services. Because if you didn't replace road surfaces or cut trees back and do all these things, basically nature will take over and it will recapture land. It will break down those roads, and those roads will become a grass again, and then eventually whatever it is. It's called serial succession, basically. It's a term in environmental scientists called serial succession. And basically that's where you start with one type of habitat, and the habitat keeps evolving, like the what's the word I need to use? I know the word is in my head, but it's just escaping me right now. But basically, you got different habitats which are suited for a certain type of soil type, certain climate that causes a certain type of fauna to grow. Alright, so you might have a place where the only thing that can grow there is moss. But guess what? Due to the climate and the conditions of that place is ultimately going to support a forest. But what has to happen first is that moss has to break down the substrate, break down what's there, and then it will die and break it down until eventually grass can grow there. And then eventually, once that grass grows there and enough of that grass dies to create more soil or humus, then it can support what? Shrubbery and so forth. It's called serial succession, and then eventually it will succeed up until the optimum community that particular place can support. So for a lot of places in England, it's marshland. And so for some places, it's a full-blown forest. That's what's going to happen after the missiles. The earth is going to begin to rejuvenate itself, and areas like London is going to go back to being a marshland. You got places like Birmingham, and Birmingham's going to go back to being a forest, or whatever is the optimum community or environment which that climate and that particular soil type can support, man. And the whole earth is going to go back to being like that. So wherever you see these cities, it's going to go back to either being a forest, a marshland, a grassland. Everywhere you look is going to be natural. Okay? There ain't going to be nobody to cut this down and cut that down and clear that road and clear this. No, it's going to just be taken over. And if you want an example of that, why you think they can't find most of the cities that the ancient Mayans had? Because once the people in them cities were wiped out, the jungle reclaimed those cities, man. And now you be walking on them cities and you don't even know. because the jungle reclaimed that city, and it didn't just become a jungle overnight. The jungle came in, it crept in, different plants started growing there, vines breaking down the rock, breaking it down slowly until there was a point where it could support a forest again. And guess what? A jungle appeared there. And that's what's going to be happening on the earth. The earth is going to rejuvenate itself. The rivers are going to rejuvenate themselves. The dams, all the dams that the so-called white man set up, they're going to be broken. Everything's going to go back and equalize itself. And everything's going to return back to its proper state, so that we're going to have a clean slate to work with, man. And then, after 1,000 years, we're going to release these nations back out to these lands, man. And they're going to start building up their little kingdoms again. But the first kingdom that's going to be rebuilt and rejuvenated is going to be the kingdom of Israel. Alright? Let me read that lot, because that was the key verse. And the earth shall be laid waste, and the fields thereof shall wax old, and her ways and all her paths shall grow full of thorns, because no man shall travel through there. So there ain't going to be no man. Like where I am right now in Dagenham, Dagenham's going to return back to being a marshland. This park that I'm in right now, all this grass here is going to turn, who knows what it's going to turn into if they didn't cut the grass and cut down any trees that spring forth. Because this park is man-made at the moment. It's controlled. Okay, they have to control it, otherwise the wild would take over and nature itself will form what's meant to be here. Alright, the earth is going to get much needed rest. And then then things are going to start moving again. But this time, everything's going to be done with balance and with equity and with wisdom and order. Not like the so-called white man doing things, man. And that's a beautiful thing. So I just thought I would discuss that, man. And you could look it up. It's called serial succession, man. That's a natural way for the earth to rejuvenate itself and heal itself and go back to a natural way of being, man. Alright? So all over there in Brazil, that you see a lot of Brazil is going to go back to what? Jungle. Because they be cutting down the jungles and it's all going to go back to jungle. When we're going to be cleansed. Then you can go over there and build again, but this time you build in righteousness and build properly. And in harmony with the earth itself, man. Alright. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.